Okay, namaste, great souls. We are gathering together, thankfully, and tuning in to the focus of our seventh chakra, which is the thousand-petaled lotus. So, thousand-petaled lotus, that says it all, right? Very, very, very expansive. So, in essence, it's essentially a unity consciousness. It's a little tricky because it's formless. It doesn't have form, where the other chakras are in the body and resonate with particular organs and elements. But the thousand-petaled lotus, the seventh chakra, Swahasara, is a formless. And what we want to do, ideally, in our yoga practice is to open up all our chakras in that ascending current way, open up and connect in unity consciousness to the sun, the moon, the stars, infinite, much greater than ourselves, expansive, much greater than ourselves. So expansion is a key part of it, and bring that, allowing that expansiveness to radiate into the cells of our body. So we're really opening up to whatever you consider unity consciousness. And with that, just like the sixth chakra, there's similarities, of practicing gratitude, bringing out those practices again, prayer life, and cultivating what's called your sangha, or your people that, just like we practice here, this is a form of a sangha. We're sharing yoga together. We're sharing heart-centered practices together, spending time in nature, all these things that we know are good for our soul, and connecting to something greater than ourselves, and then bringing that into ourselves. And the color is gold and white. It's really a pure consciousness, allowing that in, allowing that formless in our form. So it's kind of hard to talk about it. It's much better to experience it. And we can call it in. If we're feeling the other side of it, the shadow side of it is not feeling connected to others, not feeling connected to our greater, the sun, the moon, the stars, and nature. And that we want to do some things to allow ourselves to connect. Another shadow part could be that we do what's called some toxic in psychology, toxic positivity. Everything's going to be okay. Everything, like not going in and through if we do feel stuck, different emotions, letting those process. And then as we do that, we most likely will feel more connection versus shut down. So we don't want to just what's called spiritual bypass. We want to allow and feel in psychology. And then that way we can really feel all things. So I will continue to bring this in our practice as I sink back a little bit. All right. So sitting comfortably. In fact, I'm going to come off the ball, I think, and sit on the ground. You, of course, get comfortable. Here. Tools to balance. Let me see. So any blocks or props you need, I'm going to have the forefingers and thumb just touch each other, connection. Roll the shoulders down and back, lengthen up through the crown. Inhaling and expanding the heart open, opening up the fingers, reaching up, the elbows bend, the fingertips touch, the thumb touches above the crown. And we're just allowing infinite space, infinite consciousness. We're connecting the infinite space and infinite consciousness. Breathing in and then tapping into the spiritual eye and to the heart and coming into Eagle Heart Mudra, crossing at the thumbs. And just really breathe and feel the warmth of the heart. Feel that we're reaching up, your thoughts and energy reached up to touch the sky, and then drawing that infinite consciousness as best as possible into your own warm heart. And we'll do that a couple times. Inhale, expanding, open. My thoughts and energy reach up to touch the sky, to infinite awareness, to formless presence, whatever you call this, unity consciousness, tapping in, spiritual eye, bringing it into form, from formless into form, and taking several breaths here. Belly, heart, crown connected. Crown, heart, belly, feet. Let the breath be the vehicle to permeate into this interiorization. Let the breath really feel this formless coming into form. One more time. Inhale, expanding, my thoughts and energy reach up to touch the sky, the infinite consciousness, the formless presence, the unity, and that 1,000-petal lotus, tapping in from the crown to the spiritual eye, back to the Eagle Heart Mudra, softening the shoulders, really go more into silence, more into the sound of the breath. That's a key aspect of the 7th chakra, interior silence. And then releasing. And we're going to get into movement, of course, in our Hatha yoga practice. So having a blanket for your knees, if that helps, certainly helps for me. We're going to do or thread the needle maybe a little bit different than you're used to. So the knees are underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. One cat-cow, just get the fluidity going, scooping out the low, mid, upper back. Exhale, drawing in. Elongate the spine. Now bring the hand gently at the back of the head, and we're just going to open up the right shoulder, scapula, right side of the body, a couple times, just slowly parallel with the right forearm, bicep, tricep. Inhale, opening up to the side, opening that book of the heart, moving parallel. One more time. This time, as we open up, we're stretching that arm up and then threading this right arm through, threading the needle, resting on the right side of the head. I'm going to draw my left fingertips in and just rock back and forth on the side of the crown of the head here, the right side, the solar active doer. Breathing in, breathing out. You can stay stable or you can rock. Either way, you're tuning in. The big part will be tuning the sound, oceanic sound. Now just see if you want a balance challenge, extending your left leg, maybe keeping it on the floor, maybe lifting off. Now you want to be stable here. 3 or 4 breaths. Okay, when you feel complete, draw that left knee down. Unravel Maybe you just want to sweep that right arm up a little bit before we go the other side. Let's do our 360 with our hips circling around. Right. And we are going to go to the other side, of course. So, if bringing your left hand on the side of the head, just opening up the left shoulder, and then exhale, the left arm parallel to the floor. A couple more times. Inhale, rotating. Notice the difference on this lunar side and back. And then we do the sweep. As we open up, the left arm sweeps up and we thread the arm through. It's called thread the needle. We're resting on the left side of the crown of the head. Opening up the crown chakra by massaging it. Massaging side to side. That lunar witness observer part of ourself, not the thinker. We know about that one, which is fine, but for now, we're in the softening, opening, allowing stage. If you want to extend your opposite leg, that would be your right leg, go ahead, stay stable, and then just see if you want to lift up or not. That right leg. Nose to breath deepening with more exertion. And when complete, let me just come down. Unfurl. If you'd like to bring that left arm up a little bit, go ahead. And then circle the other way with the hips, if you remember. Circling down, fluidity. And when we do our poses today, like we'll go into down dog very shortly, we want to really feel the opening through the 1,000-petal lotus, the crown. Hover the knees off the ground, draw the navel to the spine. Fire up the core. Press into the base of the fingers and thumb. And extend back. Feel the muscles wrapping around the bones of the arms and the legs, especially the upper bicep, tricep area, and thighs. Stretching it out. Stabilizing if you like, and then really imagine this 1,000-petal lotus opening to peace, calmness. Both are aspects of the divine. Peace and calmness radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Hear the sound of the breath. Let that be enough. As we step one foot forward, then the other. One hand, keep walking the hands toward the feet. Resting in our forward fold, any way you like, maybe resting at the elbows. I'm going to shake the head gently, side to side. You like the massage, remember the ego center at the back of the neck here. We want it to soften its grip and move to the spiritual eye and crown, relaxing any unnecessary mental burdens. You can literally massage those and soften those out. Okay. Bending the knees, heart lifts, crown lifts, sweeping back, Uttasana chair pose, sweeping up, and pulsing. Feel that root chakra strength through the legs. as we sweep the arms up and feel the space all around. So the space within you and all around you in our mountain pose, yielding into the earth. And going into our half moon, but very slowly. So notice when the arms come up, and we're opening up the wings of joy here. We're going to stretch the arms up and just feel those channels of energy on the right side and the left side. It can almost feel to me sometimes like a nice strong cable expanding on each side. Now let those shoulders come down as much as they can. And then interlocking the thumb, the index finger, all the fingers interlock, but extend the index finger, stretching up. I'm going to walk my feet in a little bit closer. And we know this when we're arcing over to the right. Keep rooted to the legs. Strength and courage fill my body cells. So we can say it out loud and then more quietly or perhaps internally. Strength and courage fill my body cells. You can look to the side. So we're opening up the 1,000-petaled lotus. We're drawing in that infinite energy, unity consciousness into our bodies. As we inhale, lengthen up. Add the cactus arms. Before we go the other side, let's interlock standing. So we interlock, we open through the sternocleidomastoid, the throat, the shoulders, the heart, expanding, squeezing the tension out. And then chin parallel to the floor. Of course, Ardha Chandrasana to the other side. Inhale, is on 2 legs. Later we'll do it on 1. Interlock, index finger expands. More room. And we're going to arc it over, up and over to the other side. Tailbone down, so you don't want to over arc in your lumbar. Strength and courage fill my body cells as I open up the crown. I open up the infinite consciousness, and then I draw that energy that's already here. And feel the strength and courage filling my body cells. And when it's time, you could stay longer or you could come back up. Add those cactus arms. And again, just change the interlock so it feels a little different with the squeeze and soak of the hands. As you arc it back. And then this time we're going to slowly take it forward. So we hinge at the hips. The knuckles up to the sky, the crown of the head toward the earth. Opening the lotus petals. Yeah, knuckles to the sky, crown of the head toward the earth. Feel that support of the earth. Sweeping the arms forward just enough to come back to our down dog. Full body stretch. Strutting out the heels. Pressing into the base of the thumb and index finger especially. And let's see if we can bring the, lift the heels and then root down and let that wave of calmness and peace radiate through every cell of your body, every fiber of your being.
a couple times. And then you transition into whatever plank or knee, chest, chin feels best to you. We'll start with the knees down and then add 2 push-ups before we come all the way down. So exhale, halfway, and then core, pulsing back up. Keep the core engaged. Exhale, working on that strength, literally. And then all the way down. Knee, chest, chin. Extend once your belly, chest is down. Lift off of the tops of the knees. Unfurl. Open the hands wider. Lift the heart just a bit to make those figure 8 circles in our scapula. Yeah. Yes. Enjoying as we prep for our locust series. So the first part will be inhale. The tops of the feet are going to stay on the ground. The legs are so strong that the knees, you may feel the knees lifting off. Inhale, pulse it up. Open. So recharging the spine. And then exhale, ease. Now arms down by our side. We're going to lift the legs. Inhale. Pulse it up. Recharging the spine and the legs as you ease down. Okay, and then see if you're ready for your variation of Cobra. Doesn't have to come up all the way, it could go halfway, Bhujangasana. As we inhale, legs are strong, we're opening to the opportunities that are going to present itself. Open to greet this day. Moment to moment awareness. Stick out the tongue, eye gaze up. And then come back onto the knees into extended prayer pose. Bow into the wisdom of the heart. If you're a visual person, you could just visualize what colors you want this lotus petal, 1,000-petal lotus to be on the crown. And then rippling up, not all the way. We're going to keep the left knee down. The left arm, the left hand is going to line up with the left knee. And then we're going to turn to the side. So this left foot comes back and the right foot extends. Okay, the lifting up. And we're breathing, we're stacking those shoulders. Gidam Mudra, thumb and index finger together. That's it. And then it's optional to lift that right leg up. So knee down, half moon on one leg. Maybe bringing the arm over. Again, this is all optional. We're breathing and being and opening. As we lengthen up, maybe make some small circles. This is a Pilates move from the core. 3 times in one direction, 3 times the opposite. Let that right foot lower down, expand and open. And then exhale. Let the right hand come down. Before we go the other side, let's take a down dog, a full body stretch. Hover, don't rush it. Navel to the spine. And tread it back. Magnetize, you know the physical principles. The heart to the thighs. Muscles wrapping around the bones. And the spiritual principle of peace, calmness, and the 7th chakra, light, radiating through every cell of the body, every fiber of my being, opening to that unity consciousness. And let's take a ripple, bending the knees and ripple back, and then Again, setting it up for your flow, classic flow, knee, chest, chin, or classic chaturanga, widen through the shoulders, elbows in, unfurl the toes. We're gonna just take our time, either half cobra, bhujangasana, or full cobra. Shoulders down, lion's breath. Practicing gratitude, just internally note something you're grateful for here, this time in your life. Or it could be very simple. And then knees touch down. Okay, I need to turn around, but you could just bring your right knee down and turn to the side. I'm gonna have to just turn around. So the right knee is down, the left leg's extended. You can use a block or place your hand down. We're going to have this nice side stretch. Reaching the left arm up using mudra. That's it. And you could either stay here, or if your body allows, on everything, the hand and the knee and the foot's lined up. We're lifting up, perhaps. And breathing deeper. Expanding fully into this moment. Reaching over. Of course, the brain goes future and past, planning, reflecting, but right now we bring it into the breath and expand fully into this moment. That's what we know, the power is in the now. And then maybe circle a few times in one direction, and then a few times in its opposite. And then lowering a foot down, reaching over. Okay, and then coming back and scooping out, cat-cow. Folding in, folding out, turn it around. And we know it's the most likely going to come here is our wonderful friend, the full body stretch down dog. Hover, extend, visualize, crown open. You can feel that energy pouring into the brain, the blood flow. This is inversion, right? We want to do inversions for our crown. So this would be considered an inversion. Of course, there's the more intense is the headstand, handstand, more gentle shoulder stand, fish. But inversions are very, very essential to just reverse the flow of blood and lymph on a physical level, but then on a spiritual level, opening up literally into the crown. And then stepping one foot forward, then the other, walk with one hand and the other. Uttanasana. I'm going to go right to massaging the back, sides, top of the crown, releasing any unnecessary burdens. So we can open to this light. We know what the contraction is. We feel that at times. I want to be able to recognize that and do things to help open and expand. All right, bending the knees, sweeping the arms back, Uttanasana, and rising up. Pulse it. Let's chop. Maybe there's some tension or anxiety or whatever's that's uncomfortable. Sweep it, and then fill up on this piece. Inhaling and feeling that space around you. Back to mountain pose. Rooting down, and then feel all the chakras
opening, which they are, we're tending to them, and especially this crown chakra. Especially at this time of year, Easter. Let's tune in what that means to you. If there's a sangha or spiritual teachings or traditions that you want to really absorb, and especially at this time, there are potent times, of course. This can be one of those. As we bring our hands into that lotus petal, we're going to come to the front of our mat. And we're going to do what we did earlier, is tap, but in a standing pose, tap into the spiritual eye, tap into the crown, my thought and energy rise up. Touch the sky, to touch the infinite. And feet are hip width apart, interlocking again. Squeeze them in soaking. Exhale. Hinging forward. This can be a time for people of fasting. You know, that's of course an individual choice, but fasting can mean not only from food, but from social media, from other things that are, well, I won't say, you know what I mean. Inner borders of the feet together, spread the toes wide. And we're going to possibly lift this right leg if that's in your practice. If not, stand down dog. And we're going to slow it down. We're going to slowly bring this right knee perhaps toward that right elbow. And then over toward that left elbow. And then back again. It's strong, of course, meant to be. And then this time we step forward, giant step or several steps. Have your block into your lunge. And we lift our belly, heart, our head. Inhaling, expanding. And then exhale and rounding. Let your breath be the portal as you inhale to your interior life. Exhale. Breath is a portal to your interior life. Shapes your consciousness. One more round is fine. Okay, this time, if possible, that left knee touches down. We're going to come up, one hand on top of the knee. Look at a point in front of you. That's part of the drishti gaze. They're important, especially with balance. Inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, like you're pulling those weights. And you can use weights here. 3 to 5 pound weights. Inhale, pulse it up. Exhale. I attune my will to the source of all power. Any affirmation that speaks to you. One more time here. I attune my will to the source of all power. Now reach back. It might be on your low back. It might be the interlock. Okay. From here, release. Draw the arms forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to come off of that left knee just enough to transition into Virabhadrasana 1. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward, root down.
And from here, we're using it more of a transition pose. So we're going to do one full Virabhadrasana 1. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. But then transitioning into your triangle. So I'm going to grab my block and face you. Placing your block here. Opening up, because we're going to go into triangle, and then as promised, the one-legged half Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Okay, reaching over. Lightly bringing this hand, sliding it down. Again, stacking those shoulders, adding mudra if you like, head to tail connected. Staying with the arm up or over in the shoulder rotations. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Root through both feet. Energy and joy fill my body cells. 3 circles here at your own pace and timing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this arm around. You can bring it on your hip. Try to bring it to the right hip, or you can bring your hand on your left hip. You're looking over your right shoulder. You can use the wall. I forgot to say that. Bending the knees. Now taking the block to the little toe side of the foot. And then bending both knees and stepping that left foot in and lifting off. Now, helpful to look down at first. We're expanding fully into this moment. We're strong through the left leg and maybe unfurling, maybe not, that left arm. And then slow eye gaze to the side, some point in front of you. I expand fully into this moment. Moment to moment awareness, the power of now. Now is where the power is. And then we reverse it. We come down. Keep that knee bent. Keep that right knee bent. And we're going to sweep up. Drag that knee over the second toe and then reach over. Watch that knee coming forward. Keep drawing it back toward the little toe. If you want to interlock, that's in your practice, go ahead. Just pulse a little bit. It's strong. It's meant to be strong. Good. And then we come up. We turn the toes in. We open the heart wide. We reach back. You can either interlock or hands on your hips, depending on what works for your body. Opening the central channel, opening the unity consciousness. And bowing to the wisdom of the heart simultaneously, so that formless into form. I'm going to do a couple pulses, lifting the knuckles to the sky, crown of the head to the earth. Let the breath be that portal. The infinite consciousness, connecting to the infinite and bringing it back to the body. Shaping our consciousness. Hands come to the low back, slide down. Let's add a lovely twist here. Elongate the spine. Right fingertips face the left hand, the whole torso twist. Inhale. Like we did earlier with threading the needle, but now the legs are much more engaged in the extension. Head to tail connected. And then come back down. Left fingertips face the right hand. Whole torso starting from the belly. Twist. Stacking the shoulders if possible. And individual self with the infinite. in our mudra. It's just so much of what the seventh chakra is about, that expansion of consciousness. And then slowly coming down. Okay, heel toe it in, bend the knees a bit, hands on the hips or low upper thighs. Coming into star pose. And let's collect and gather before we do that flow to the other side. Inner mountain, yielding. Feel the energy rising up the chakras. Expanding like we did, started seating. My thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky, to touch infinity. Touch the spaciousness, the formless. And letting that open to it, and resting back in the heart center. Feel perhaps the warmth there. The hands contacting the heart and the warmth of the interior heart, the spiritual heart, the compassionate heart. And take a sip of lemon water here and come back to the other side. So I didn't talk about it yet, but as we open and expand to something greater to ourselves, that's also in our compassionate heart, that we can, whatever struggle we may be going through, we'll do the Tonglen meditation at the end. Remembering others are going through their variation, perhaps, of that type of struggle. So we're talking early women and birthing and the whole situation around that, and the beauty and the mystery and the intensity. You may want to, whatever you're maybe going through or a family member's going through, perhaps if it speaks to you, we could bring others onto the mat and offer them prayers of care. But we could also bring ourselves, feel the feelings that you are going through, but also know that others are going through that. So we're tuning in to others that have experienced what you may be going through in slightly different ways. So we'll bring compassion, empathy, care to our crown chakra. And it's a way of a moving prayer. As you come back, step it back. Block over here into down dog. Inner borders of the feet together. Left leg lifts up if possible. Big exhale. Bend that left knee. Bring the left knee toward the left elbow. Doesn't have to touch. And then the right. And then back again. Extending. And giant stepping through. Okay. So pulse into our lunge. We'll inhale. Belly, heart, head lifts. Exhale, feel the power of the breath. As a portal. It's an interiorization. Inhale, pulsing up. Exhale, rounding. And then coming down onto the knee. And letting yourself rise up. Tailbone down. If you ever find I'm doing the same leg as I'm turning myself around, you just make sure you switch and you do the opposite, okay? The opposite side. I just question myself when I don't stay on one side. And here we go. Here we go. We're rising up in our lunging. And we're exhaling. And I attune my will to the source of all power, and I offer those prayers of care for others. So if Drishti point is important, we'll fall out. All that others are going through their variations. Okay. And then we're reaching back, interlocking, heart opens and expands. And then we reach forward. And we'll take it into the Virabhadrasana 1. Spin the back foot 30 degrees. Have your block by your side. Draw that left hip back, right hip forward. So I'm going to look at a new affirmation I don't normally use. So we're going to reach up and we're going to exhale in our transition. I am divinely protected, inspired, loved, and guided by the universe. I am divinely protected, inspired, loved, and guided by the universe. Opening up to the side, taking our block, and to Trikonasana. Expanding the heart open, and reaching over. Taking your time. You can bring it in the front or the back of the foot. As you stack those shoulders, thumb, index finger together, head to tail connected. You could stay in classic Trikonasana or extend Utthita. And feel energy and joy fill in your body cells. And allowing the joy kosha to open. Here, energy and joy fill my body cells. And here we go, our transition of wrapping that arm around or to your right hip here, or your left, whatever works for you. Looking over your left shoulder, taking your time in our one-legged Ardha Chandrasana, stepping, or the wall behind you, stepping the back foot in, looking at a point on the floor. Touch my head on the plant, which is fine. Lifting up, strong through the right leg as much as you can. It's optional to unravel that arm. Eye gaze, maybe extend it out, something you're looking at. The main thing is we're opening, expanding into this moment. And to the power of the now. Now we can be in and breathe into. Expand fully into this moment. And then we slowly come down, step back, take your time, keep that knee bent, open to the side, keep drawing that knee to the little toe side of the foot. I'm going to do the clasp, see what works for your body. The main thing is to root down through the root chakra. Safety, security. Earth energy supporting us, so we've got the earth and the sky and everything in between. And then we unravel the arms and we're going to just sweep this other arm around and step it back into down dog again. A lot of down dogs today. Get oh, really feel that crown opening. And then to let the knees bend, scoop it out. We're gonna rest in child's and go into hare pose. So child's pose is the arms by our side. Yeah, let the breath be enough. Hare pose, we're gonna hold on, if you can, to your heels, tuck the chin to the hollow of the throat. And we're gonna roll, literally roll onto the top of the crown of the head. So we're rolling, lifting the sit bones away from the heels. You feel that gentle pressure on the crown as the spine, every space of the vertebra opens up. And the affirmation is, I am master of my body. I am master of myself. I am master of my body. I am master of myself. We can have the tools to regulate our nervous system. That's a big part of what yoga is about, of the emotional, physical regulation. And then, of course, as we ease down, helps us naturally rest into what's whole, what's free, what's aware, our spiritual awareness, ourself. It's not ours. We don't own it. We're just opening to it. And tuning in to practices that help you be aware of the infinite. Take a moment here, rolling up, stacking one hand. If you could sit like this, if not, sit cross-legged, we'll just be here a few moments. Moment to moment awareness with the intention and meditation and movement meditation and stillness meditation. There's got to be a certain degree of relaxation and concentration and expansion. So concentrating enough to direct the energy up to the upper chakras and then to receive that energy from the upward to the spine, to your physical body. Every breath is potential for that connection. Connections here, we're just opening the door to that. All right, before we come on to our back, let's do a lovely seated twist, having the left knee bent. The right knee can either go on the shin or by the lower thigh. Lengthening and rotating and twisting. Looking over your shoulder. And then just ease back a bit and see if you want to bring that elbow on the outside or not. As you twist again, chin parallel. Opening to the flow of grace, opening universal expansion, universal connection. Whatever that is for you. The theme, not only for today, but we're focusing on the seventh chakra today, always. And then easing back, interlocking. And then before we go to the other side, this is bringing your left shin in front and just see where you're at with this. Try to bring the shin somewhat, because we're getting to the outer hips. You'll feel this as we come forward. Woohoo! Heart lifts and then exhale, ease. 3 breaths here. And then deepening into the sound. I'm exaggerating the sound to invite you into hearing the portal that shapes your consciousness. Inhale, lengthen up. And of course, we'll go to the other side. So the left knee on the bottom, both knees are bent. Left foot either by the shin or the outer thigh. Always starting from the core, from the belly. So twisting, hugging the knee, easing back and seeing if you want to bring that elbow on the outside or not. And the other arm's like a kickstand, helping support. Open to the divine protection and inspiration. And to others that are going through some version, what you may be going through, offering them compassion. Breathing into the struggle, that's the Tong Len. And then wishing them ease as we exhale. And it's usually around fears, anxieties, wishing ease and release, something of that nature, peace, lengthen up. And then reaching through the other foot. This could be quite a lot on the outer hips, so be mindful. And then walking forward. Walk, walk, walk. Lift the heart. And then see, oh, this side I want my upper body to come down more for some reason. See what works for you. I'm just got a pose or two more before we go into Shavasana. So just already the brain might be feeling that relaxed, yet aware, which is a beautiful state. And we'll come down. I'm going to keep the blanket here because I always like to do a bridge pose. That's an inversion. And we'll also do a fish pose. Inversions are very important. Like I said, in general, but especially when we're talking seventh chakra. Exhale, low back, mid back, upper back, ease. Fold those knees in. I'm going to hold the blanket more at the edge of my shoulders. And the head is off the blanket. Okay. Make those half circles, inner borders of the feet together, releasing the back, opening the hips. Try to do this every day, and then plug in the feet, large toes turning in. You want to press more through the large toes when you think of coming up into bridge and magnetizing the inner thighs. Those are two good cues to keep the containment as you inhale and lift. If you want to, rock one shoulder then the other in underneath you. Keep magnetizing the thighs. Maybe interlock, maybe not. Every thought can be a bridge back to divinity, to your higher self. Every thought is a bridge back to divine grace, your higher self. Witness consciousness, whatever you call that, whatever your practice resonates with. And then releasing and melting the upper, mid, low back into the earth. You need to move your feet, go ahead. I like to do a little bit of an arc and curl, digging the sacrum in and then flattening the spine. And then extending both legs for our fish pose. Okay. Latsandrasana, the palms of the hands underneath the cheeks or forearms can be underneath there. We're going to arc the spine and come onto the back of the head, the back of the crown. 3 to 5 breaths here. I love this affirmation. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. And more quietly, my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. Pressing gently through the forearms, just enough to glaze the back of the head on the earth. Bend one knee, then the other to get the arms out. Hug those knees in. Thank you, body. Yay for all you can do. Modifying any way you like. I'm just going to end with a little windshield wiper twist. Just feel that divine light within you and all around you. And then you're going to tune in to the, like we always do, the Shavasana that speaks to you today. I am going to encourage the legs up the wall or a shoulder stand, supported half shoulder stand to help with that inversion principle. So you would have your legs up the wall here, eye bag, a nice warm blanket, getting all of the things that make you cozy and comfortable. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we need the relaxation, and then the gentle concentration, and then the expansion. And these are the three principles of Ananda meditation: is relaxation, gentle concentration, and expansion. And the tongue line comes from a Buddhist psychology meditation where we'll offer our expansion to others. So first getting them settled in and cozy. Taking your time. And let your soul is always guiding you as we find our comfort position. All right. Just trying to record this part. All right, let's take a double breath that helps regulate. So short, long inhale and tense the body, double breath. Tense, 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 tense. And then short, long exhale, release. Let's do that again. Inhale, double breath. Make a fist with your hands, scrunch up the face, tense the body, vibrate with energy. And then exhale, short, long, feel the relaxation. And starting from the crown, starting from the 1,000-petaled lotus. Again, if you're a visual person, you may visualize color there, gold or white or any color you like. Pure awareness. And let that expansion, the space all around you, the connection to the sun, the moon, the stars, start coming into this physical form, your body, allowing that light to relax the eyes and the forehead.
Feel the cool air on the inhale, connecting to the spiritual eye, and then back to the crown. And let that coolness or light permeate the jaw, the ears, the face. Softening the root of the tongue, the teeth and the gums. Softening the shoulders and hearing that oceanic sound of the breath and the throat. And feel the radiant sensation streamlining down both arms, a gentle bend at the elbows and wrists. And perhaps some sensation in the palms of the hands and digits of the fingers. And we want to really live in our heart center now, our chest cavity, breathing into it, touching in with softness, with compassion. And you might be, if this speaks to you, bring up something you might be uncomfortable with, that might be grappling with. Might be some confusion or fear or anger. Maybe it's an illness, something that's not easy to contend with. You're actually going to breathe into this grappling, tight feeling. Maybe it's even feels claustrophobic, but then as you breathe out, you're going to breathe out into clear, spacious relief, ease. Let yourself feel the ease and the release of spaciousness, awareness, compassion. And then we're going to call to mind anyone you may or may not know that may be struggling with whatever it is you may be going through, their version of it. So just take a moment to bring those, another person or a group of persons, and we're going to breathe in. And then we're going to breathe out, wishing some ease, that release of spaciousness, of tightness. Breathing in compassion and strength and loving kindness. So just a couple rounds here of offering a way of prayers of care to others that might be going through what you're going through in their way. Actually breathing into it, which is counterintuitive. And then on the exhale, breathing out compassion, loving kindness, a wishing of ease for others. And in this, we may at times feel alone, but we know that others are going through some form of this as well. And we feel more connected, or that universal connection, that unity consciousness. And continue to breathe into the belly, into the ribs, into the low back, and back into form. The hips, the cheeks. Just feel the sensations as we touch into the thighs, left and right, the knees, calves, the ankles, soles of the feet, digits of the toes. Space inside the body. Very much connected to the space all around you. Returning again and again to what's already whole, already free, already aware. Consciousness itself, unity consciousness, in form and beyond form. And may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be blessed. May you know peace and ease and the beauty of your true nature. You visualize others. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be blessed. May they know peace and ease. And may they know the beauty of their true nature. And just notice if you'd like to transition into movement or stay in restoration. If you are transitioning, do it gradually. Wiggling the fingers and toes and just resting on your side in ease, the fetal pose. Perhaps if you're transitioning, coming to that comfortable seat again. And again, just being more aware of the many practices we do have and it's to offer to others as we do classically during our practice and at the end here, visualizing. We did the loving kindness metta and the Tonglen, and now we're going to send the 3 ohms. Sound is very powerful. Visualizing those persons you would like to send healing energy to. Rubbing the hands together if you like or not. And we'll do the 3-syllable Om sound 3 times. Inhaling. Ah. Ah. And bringing the hands in namaste, acknowledging the oneness. That's where we are all one in this consciousness, that's where we meet as we bow to the wisdom of our heart, as we share. And the seventh chakra of the formless in our form, and the many ways we can do that through what we've been doing in our practices, our sangha, the spiritual practices, philosophy, study, all those ways. I'm going to just end the recording part of this.